Shalom Akim. Before we begin, like always, I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakdash. Double honors, of course, to the apostles and elders. I give you millstone, men who teach and rule well. May us touch this truth, and peace and blessings be unto you, fellow Akim, your brothers. Thus appreciate this word in truth, faith, and in sincerity. And literally in this video, I just want to bring out certain scriptures, and also I want to focus on a certain word. As brothers know, a new speak. And essentially talking about this work of ours, man. All right, because essentially I'm gonna be focusing on the word grunt. And I heard this word being thrown out there every once in a while when I can use it to edify, or just focusing on being wordsmiths, So I'm gonna bring out the first scripture. All right, this is Hebrews. All right, I don't have access to my phone right now, but this will do. This is Hebrews 11 and 39 says, "And these all, having obtained a good report through faith, received not the promise." All right, and the reason why I'm bringing this out in Hebrews 11 is because essentially the verses prior, for time's sake, I'm just not gonna read it, but I can read the whole chapter. If I should know. All right, in Hebrews the 11th chapter, you have pretty much a whole list, all right, of men, all right, and prophets, as well as women, all right, that have pretty much obtained, all right, they were edified, they were exhorted, all right, and men that pretty much surpassed and did what the Lord asked them to do, through faith, all right, and obtained, like I said, good reports, all right, and pretty much had success in their lifetime, all right, and essentially those men, mainly men, all right, those prophets, they're servants of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, they knew the secrets, and as do we today. We're pretty much doing that same work. All right, and focusing on that word grunt. When I can look it up, that word grunt pretty much in today's newspeak pretty much means something that's looked at as mundane, or repetitive, or some menial tasks. Something of low value. Something that you do, and it's just not gonna. There's not gonna be a worth it reward at the end. That's what people look at as when they see the word, grunt work, or the phrase grunt work. And this pretty much, and it's okay to look at it as the men of the Lord being grunts, because that's really what we are as well. Foot soldiers. That's what we are. This is our reasonable service, if we're putting our lives on the line. All right, and pretty much. And indeed, we are the grunts of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, if I can want to look at it that way. But you best believe that this is not no millennial work. If I can look it up on Google, if I can just Google it, it pretty much tells you that it's also a repetitive work. And you best believe this is repetitive, but it's definitely not a work that's just something of low value. All right, this is not some. Remember, this is the army of the Lord. All right, not Esau's army. All right, this isn't Babylon's army where they give you certain pensions, and they at the end of the day they just don't give you pretty much no satisfaction. All right, or in this case pride even, not putting away that effort that brothers put in in the world, but even Akim in the army know, certain mottos and things that are modeled after. It all comes from the scriptures as well. All right, so this is Isaiah 49:6. It says, "And he said, It is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant, to raise up the tribes of Jacob, and to restore the preserved of Israel. I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles, that thou mayest be my salvation unto the end of the earth." All right, and pretty much yes, that's pretty much the whole point as well, man. All right, that this isn't not only is it not a light thing, but it's also a light thing to the Lord, to pretty much have us have this opportunity, because that's what this is as well, man. All right, it's definitely no grunt work if this is one of those things to where what's that? Matthew 22:14. All right, what many are called, but few are chosen. All right, any old dude can just enlist in the real world. All right, or in this case, this fake world, this Babylonian world. All right, just enlist in the army. But this being the Lord's army, it's a gift. All right. It's also an extension of mercy to be called into this thing, all right? But then to look at it as grunt work, that's also to look at it as pretty much of low quantity or of low value, it's just ridiculous to look at it that way. Even if we do our daily tasks like reading, praying as we ought to do, all right, edifying, building our self character. These things isn't grunt work, all right. It's not of low value, all right. That might be the title of this video, all right. Because what that's another thing I heard as well. You have scoffers come up, you might as well have sincere questions being thrown around about the men that die, all right, the men that give up their life within this truth, all right. Because another account that I like to compare this to is pretty much if Akim are history buffs, if Akim know about the Second World War, all right, you pretty much had this event called D-Day, all right, letter D and then day, all right, which you pretty much look it up. Another word for that event is the Normandy landings. When Akim looked that day up, you had men that pretty much landed on the beaches of Normandy, and you had the opposite powers pretty much just raining gunfire on these men that were on foot, right, in these boats. I don't know what they're called, but nevertheless, the first men that stood foot on those beaches, they knew that they were gonna die pretty much, and they did. All right, just a hailstorm of fire just rained down, and pretty much almost all those men that the first step foot were the first ones to be shot down. All right, see that? And it's crazy because you knew those men. At that time, those men were gonna die. All right, they knew it, and they did it for a cause of man, essentially. All right, but what the scriptures talk about, what this being a work of the Lord. All right, and how it's not gonna come to naught. All right, so remember that, Akim, as well, that this is not some worldly work. This is a work of not of our world, man. All right, gotta remember that as well. All right, so this is I want to bring a scripture out on that as well. This is 1 Thessalonians 4:16. It says, "For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of the Lord. And the dead in Yahushua shall rise first." All right, and what does that link up to? That's Revelations 20 and 4. All right, take us that verse a bit. I know it's in the 20th chapter. All right, just bring that out as well. All right, how what the men that were beheaded for the name of Yahushua. All right, not only were they raised first, but they're gonna receive the same thing that the men that are alive as well. All right, maybe all different offices, maybe different positions. All right, but we're all working for that same thing. All right, that same penny, the same reward. All right, and that we're all gonna receive. All right, so it's not of man also. All right, and that's how like I quoted earlier, was Matthew 22. All right, how those same men that are not only chosen and called, all right, there's gonna be a reward that's unspeakable. All right, and if there was to speak on it, they can only be found in Scripture, man. All right, of the magnitude that's gonna come to the grunts of the Bashim Yahushai, man. All right. I'm gonna keep reading. Verse 17. It says, "Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord." You see, and of course, this is talking about what essentially that end plot. All right. When the enemy totally comes in like a flood, when Esau decides to fight against the Lord himself, all right, with his prideful AWS, all right, then what? At that point in time, at that last trump, then is the Lord going to essentially receive his elect men, all right, dead and alive, all right, because all in all, at the end of the day, we really are alive anyway, all right, living and breathing in the Word, all right, Isaiah 33:6, the stability, beyond the stability of the affliction we're going to go through, what's the strength of our salvation, all right, the strength, all right, of what gets us that one-way ticket to the kingdom of heaven, man, all right, and in order being established in the earth, all in all, So, again, let's do this the last scripture. We're going to go back to Hebrews 11, all right, just to prove that point of this not being grunt work, all right, not this being not just any old army just doing into and you just head home with your bag and hang up your hat. All right, that's not the case with Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Asalaki, Hebrews the 10th chapter. All right, we're going to go into Hebrews the 10th chapter. Hebrews 10:35, it says, "Cast not away therefore your confidence, which hath great recompense of reward." All right, And not only cast away what? Your confidence, but what? Don't cast away the vision also, man. All right? As time passes by, sometimes it's easy to get bombarded with certain obstacles as we should deal with, being tempted, all right? Being acquainted with temptation. But what? Essentially not casting away everything that we even received on this side too. The knowledge and the understanding. The understanding that our forefathers pretty much fought and even believed for the same thing we are doing now, man. All for the Lord. All right? And what? Not casting off, that is also a great deal as well. Even not casting away your confidence. That's a fight in itself. But what? That's what grunts do. We're the foot soldiers. All right? We're soldiers in general. And yes, Yahweh shall call us this as well, man. What's that? 2 Timothy's. All right? 1:7, if I'm not mistaken. What? To endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right? Of Hamashach Yahweh Shai. So, those on this video is edifying as well as exhorting. On the close, I'll be giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Makakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, like your millstone, and the men who teach and rule well. And peace and blessings be unto you, fellow Akim, your brothers, that also protect this word in truth, faith, and sincerity. With that, I'm going to say Shalom.